Coins and notes have been the foundation of trade for centuries, and the weekly market in the town of Rochford is as traditional as they come.
My own opinion is I think we can't get to a stage where we go cashless. I know, we do, that's how it is, but I don't think we can get to that.
We've had the first introduction to a cashless payment system with the pretty cool and efficient contactless payment system. Now, in the UK, that started off £20. It then got quite quickly increased to £30. And then with the pandemic, they've increased the contactless payment now to £45. However, we have to be very careful about the implementation. There are three major pros that I can, off the top of my head, highlight as a positive for cashless. One is you greatly reduce the economic burden of maintaining your cash supply, your physical cash supply, which in the UK is about £5 billion a year. Secondly, is a far more efficient way for individuals and businesses to collect and pay their taxes. It could kind of be taken either way, but I'm not against that. I'm actually quite pro that, especially if government starts to be more aligned with the people they claim to govern. The third is crime. So we know that organized crime at the lower tier levels at least, which is still a huge, huge market, is orchestrated predominantly with cash. So your drug markets, your trafficking, these criminal networks are going to find it exponentially more difficult to maintain their criminal networks. It's going to put most of them out without leaving these trails. It will actually increase the efficiency of major crime networks who have all the right corporate connections. And this is my biggest concern around cashless societies utilizing private ledgers in order to control the whole top-down flow and distribution of currency. We have introduced a system of hyper-efficiency in a network where it doesn't have hyper-transparency. So it could make it more challenging for us to understand what's really going on at the top, because the top's friction has been reduced due to the implementation of a system that they control completely. None of them want to operate on top of the public chain. None of them want to operate on a public source of accountability and transparency. They all want to implement blockchain technology, but in a private fashion, in a private ledger, because that is how they can address some of the core issues around going cashless, which is, okay, if everything's digital, then you are now going to heavily expose yourself to the plague of digital systems, which is a double spend problem. So there's actually concerns around cybercrime and fraud rising if we go cashless. They're touting the blockchain as a solution of how they're going to implement their cashless societies. Because it's private, it means, in short, that they can control ledger inputs. They can control the anonymity, privacy of ledger inputs for themselves and those who they are cozy with to keep on facilitating the velocity of transactions for their nefarious networks that they wish to continue to facilitate. On the opposite side, because it will be distributed on top of some form of private blockchain, it means that you as a private individual no longer really have a degree of financial privacy, because all of your record will be completely traceable and trackable. Currency is a measurement of human production, ultimately your time. So now if they have a way of completely controlling the time of every human being on the planet, because we go cashless, without having a ledger that is truly public and transparent, where everyone is held by the same rule sets, because that's a liberator of man. That's actually where you have a measurement of time where you can do an audit trail on it. And you as a sovereign human being, an individual, can bring back the cash-like qualities from physical cash. Meaning, if I take a £10 note out of my pocket and I deposit it into a homeless person's cup sitting outside of Tesco, I don't know that person. That person doesn't know me, but yet I exchanged value. The government was unaware of that exchange of value. PayPal was unaware of that exchange of value. The central bank was unaware of that exchange of value. They were behind it indirectly because they minted the cash, but they were unaware of the transaction that took place. That should not be taken lightly. That is one of the greatest attributes of cash. What Bitcoin addressed to the world is taking that quality and doing it across borders while maintaining the same attributes of cash. That's a great cashless society because it maintains the integrity of cash. Yes, it's going to be more efficient. It's going to reduce friction. It's going to reduce the cost of maintaining the economic system. But at what cost? At the cost of human privacy. That's exactly what we're doing with Gravity. This is why we are taking the traditional economic system, GBP, Euro, USD, tokenizing on top of Bitcoin, reinstating the physical cash capabilities and qualities, allowing you to send value all around the world, cross borders, but in micropayments, in dust particles of GBP, in dust particles of USD, in dust particles of Euro. That's where we need to go. They are going to force the banking world into a digitized, API-driven world, which for companies like mine and for companies operating within the Bitcoin space, for us, you are now providing us the primer, the necessary prerequisites to reinstate everything it is that you're trying to take away by going cashless, due to the fact that you've got the fishbowl that is the ocean of currency, and it's got bullet holes all in it called negative interest rates. And it doesn't matter how many plasters you slap on your fishbowl, you will never, ever be able to deliver a system that can reinstate the trust of the population that you claim to govern in the way that the new challenger banks will, because we will utilize a public ledger called Bitcoin to do our variant of a cashless society that is for humanity and is pro-privacy and it's pro-transparency. So, bring it on.